Hello and welcome to the McTavish Shedcast with me, Rachel McTavish. Now, if you don't know the story already, I'm not working yet at the moment due to the coronavirus, like a lot of people out there. And so my husband and I decided to set up a TV studio in my shed. And we've already done our first Shedcast a couple of nights ago, and 70,000 viewers tuned in. So thank you all so much for that. Anyway, tonight, my guests are Judith Ralston, the BBC weather presenter, and Isobel Rutter, who's an actress and after-dinner speaker and presenter of her own one-woman show as well. Thank you both very much for joining me in my shed. Judith, if we can start off with you, how are you coping? You've got 3 kids and you're in lockdown like the rest of us.
Yeah, it's the days are quite, well, they move, I say they're long, but they pass fairly quickly. It's trying to juggle work with working from home with actually trying to do a bit of schoolwork with the kids that I'm finding challenging, shall we say.
And what sort of things are you doing? You said that you're finding the technology quite difficult.
Well, I'm learning fast, actually. I've always been a bit of a dinosaur about technology, but I'm just having to learn. So the kids, and it's important for them to interact with their friends. So every evening they seem to run off with my phone or my iPad so they can chat to their friends. And I think that's a really important, thing to keep going all through this period. I'm doing things with them like a bit of geography, actually. We've been looking at the continents, looking at the countries in the UK and things that I don't think they've been learning as much of at school as I certainly did, when I was at school, and just things that maybe they're not doing, a lot of. I'm going to go through different composers each week, take one composer each week and let them hear just things that the teachers at school don't have time to do. So
you're probably scaring a lot of... You're probably scaring a lot of parents out there with what you are doing with them.
No.
Well, with everything that's happening, with everything that we're preoccupied with at the moment, we seem to have taken our eye off the weather a little bit. Is it going to improve? Is it going to get better?
Yes, I think I'm back on shift tomorrow, so I was having a wee look at things earlier on to give me a wee sort of feel for it. It will start, I think by the weekend, things are set to turn a bit milder. We're going to drop some milder air. But for us in the west, that means cloudier conditions generally. But I think by the end of the week, we'll see one more blast of quite cold air, colder conditions. I think it's Thursday, yes. And then I think that might be the last cold spell we'll see. And then we're starting to progressively get that wee bit warmer.
Well, Isobel, if we can cross over to you, you were born and bred on Tyree, so you're well used to hunkering down, aren't you? You were quite self-sufficient on the islands.
Well, used to be hunkering down, yes, or being blown over by the wind, one or the other, yes. Not much has changed for me, as it happens, because this is my busy season at my day job, so I would be in the house anyway, working away. But of course, my day job involves arranging trips to the UK for kids from schools abroad, and that died overnight.
Yeah.
So I don't have that to do. I had a bit of work at the start, tidying things up with the cancelled groups, but I don't have that to do. And my hobby job, doing a gig here and there, that's died as well. But I mean, I'll save a lot of Valium with that one. So that's there's always a silver lining.
Yeah, I think Judith and I are recognising that one. So island life, that did prepare you for it, though. You do make me laugh when you go round to your house with how prepared you are for any eventuality.
Oh, that's right. It's the island mentality. There's always another one in the cupboard. So there was no requirement for me to go mad shopping and stockpiling or anything like that. There's always another one there. And that, I think, stems from years ago. Well, it still happens now. If the boat doesn't come in, then you don't get your provisions. So we were always in the habit of always having extra. And that, I was sent away to school, to secondary school in Oban. Mm-hmm. And there could be a problem there as well with the boat not getting in because you were away from home, and we didn't get home very often because Tyree is so far out. It's next stop America. That's how far out we are. So we had to send our washing home every week on the boat, or as the ferry as it's called now. And we would take bundle up your dirty washing, take it down to McBrain's boat, and the men on the boat would take it home to your mother for you, and she would wash it all and send a clean lot back. So you were always swapping clean clothes for dirty clothes. So your clothes were either clean or dirty, sailing up and down the Sound of Mull. And it was quite nice to get the new parcel coming back, because there was money in it for a start, and there'd be bars and a letter and crisps and different things like that. Tuck. However, one day the boat didn't sail, bad weather. We go to the boat with the parcels, but there's no clean stuff. So we have to take the parcels back. Now, I lived in a hostel for girls. It wasn't a boarding school exactly.
Oh, Isobel, we've lost you slightly there. I don't know if you can hear us. Judith, what about you? How are you actually going to be doing your broadcasts from home?
Well, as things stand, I've actually been using my phone to record the radio broadcast, so I've not been doing any television. And it's a little app that I can use to record, because we cover the whole of Scotland, not just the local radio stations as well. So I've been recording these bulletins and emailing them into work, writing the scripts, sending them off to the local radio stations that they use in the national script as well. It's actually been quite busy. At first I thought, working from home, how nice. I actually thought, this could really work nicely, but actually I'm pretty busy and it's full on, and it's a bit more stressful because I don't have the access to all the information I need. So, but it's a matter of getting used to it. But I did, the first morning I did it, it was full on. And then after about 2.5 hours, I thought, oh, God, I better get another cup of tea. Stood up, started doing the dishes. That was the difference. At least at work, you take 5 minutes to yourself. But I actually started doing the dishes from the night before that my husband and kids had left, because I've gone to bed early for this early. I still have to get up at the same time really as well. So, but it's great to be able to do something and feel like you're keeping the machine, chugging along, because at the end of the day, everybody does want to know what the weather's going to be like one way or another. I think I certainly do.
Well, we've got a few people saying hello. We've got Jock One, who wants to say hello to you, Judith. And we've also got hellos to both of you from Jerry Murter, Frank Cronin, Craig Taggart, Ian Hurd. There's a lot of men saying hello tonight. I don't know. I don't know if that's your influence, Judith.
Natural charisma.
Isobel, I see we're back. We've got you back again.
I don't know what happened.
You spilt your Campari over your keyboard.
I don't know what bit I was at even. I don't know what happened.
You were waiting for your washing to come back and the boat hadn't sailed.
That's right. And I don't know. Okay, we maybe cut out when I was explaining. It wasn't a boarding school exactly in Oban. It was we were boarded in a hostel.
Borstal.
Craigard Hostel. Borstal, not quite. Hostel. Craigard Hostel, or as I fondly refer to it now, Tenco. And washing anything at all was forbidden. So especially tights and pants, because you can just imagine it, 40 girls in a hostel and all these tights and pants hanging up like bunting all around the place. So because we had no clean pants and tights, we decided, a couple of the girls, to wash them in the toilet up the stairs. And of course I got caught, and all my pants and all my tights were confiscated. And I had to go to school the next day, commando. You see,
that's a bit cool.
I was only 13. I mean, I think this is where it all went wrong for me. That was a slippery slope. But it was quite good, because we came back from school and they had hung up all the pants and tights in the kitchen on the pulley, and everything was all nice and dry and warm. So it was all right in the end. But yeah, times were tough.
It's made you a tough woman, Isobel.
Oh yes, just you watch your step.
We've got some more hellos from Margaret Hughes and Stuart Fraser. Hugh McDougall is saying hello from Arisaig. Marion Begg, all watching. So thank you very much. Keep sharing and commenting and sending your questions in. Judith, we have got one question weather related. I'll go back onto why a lot of them aren't weather related to you in a moment, but we have got one very nice proper question. What's your favourite season?
I think I used to think autumn. It reminded me of leaving home and going to college, and it was the first autumn I had in Glasgow when I came through here to study. But actually, it's got to be spring, because I love the feeling of everything being reborn, and the change in the weather, and the nights getting lighter, and it's a freshness to it as well. So spring, I think, yeah.
We've been getting a lot of texts all day from friends saying that you're their husband's favourite. Why do you think you have this appeal?
I think because the ladies that may say that actually sense that I'm actually pretty much like them, not interested. And I'm not a threat. I'm not a threat, maybe. And I'm not a particular threat because I'm a very normal person background. I grew up like many other Scots in this country with the same values, with the same, similar outlook. And I think subliminally, a friend once pointed this out to me, subliminally, they sense that about me, that I'm kind of just like them. Although
you do get some odd requests though, don't you?
I do, yes. Some kind of saucy ones sometimes as well. But my son might be listening, so I don't want him to know.
I understand.
He's right here, he says.
That's just too embarrassing. What are they interested in my old mum for? Isobel, you and Judith both started off treading the boards. I think people probably won't realise that about both of you. Do you miss being on stage, Isobel?
No, not really. The nerves are bad, terrible nerves, which I could never really get on top of. I just can't do it. I don't know why it is. It's overwhelming. And so I don't miss it. That doesn't mean I don't like it. But sometimes people say, well, why are you doing it then if you don't like it? Well, that's too long a story. But I can't say I don't enjoy it, but I only enjoy it when I'm driving home, when it's finished.
Well, you did
I think that went quite well.
You did have a one-woman show at the Pavilion. Now that's a tough crowd to crack. You must have had some tough audiences in your time.
Oh, I've had tough. Generally, when and I don't do these now. If it's a mixed dinner and I'm doing after dinner speaking, somebody phones and says, "Could you do this dinner?" My first question is this a ladies' dinner? And if it's mixed, I just say no, because when the men and the women get together, it's too hard. So I know my limitations. I stick to the ladies. Apart from burn suppers, I don't mind doing them. They seem to be in a class of their own.
So what was your toughest gig then?
Oh, yeah. I can't even bear to remember it. It was hellish. It was just a sea. And I'd been given a bum steer because it was in the days where I still did the mixed dinners, but I wanted to know the split. And I was told it was 50-50, and it wasn't. It was about 70-30, maybe even more than that, maybe 75-25, something like that. Mostly men. And they were in the building trade. I mean, can you imagine it? And I turn up with my wee sparkly shoes and my red frock, looking as if I'm going to sing an opera. And it was just hellish. It was. I couldn't even raise a titter.
What about the gig where you had your deaf audience? That can't have been easy.
Oh, the deaf audience, yeah. So this this was a ladies' lunch, and it was for deaf people. And I was told there would be somebody signing, but I didn't really. I should have thought more about it. I didn't think enough about it. And here was this. Here I am here, and about 3 meters, 4 meters away from me is a guy, and he's doing all the signing. So the performance was stilted for a start because I had to kind of wait for him to finish all his thing like this. But the strangest thing happened because it was he who was getting the laughs, not me, because there were eyes on him. And he was quite a funny guy, and it was a bit of my act where I'm referring to a part of male anatomy. and he was, gesturing down in his kind of nether regions. This, and so I was telling the gags, and he was getting all the laughs. It was very strange. I never want to do that again.
Judith, your background is opera. How did you get into that?
I was born with a voice, and a teacher. I always sang as a child and mimicked my old headmistress singing hymns, and I go, whoa, mimicking her. I remember her telling me that. And it was when I was, so I always sang. I was about 16, and I was taken to the opera the first time, and it was like an epiphany. I thought, that's me. I knew then that was what I was going to do, what I was meant to do, because I've been playing instruments all through my teenage years and all through my childhood, actually. So I knew I was going to do music, but I was never quite sure which instrument. And it was when I saw that it was La Boheme, it's Scottish Opera's La Boheme, which I went on to be in, actually, the same production. That I thought it really was a moment, an epiphany moment. As soon as the curtains opened, I thought, this is it. I know what I'm doing. I know what I've got to do. And then I started singing lessons, and then went to the academy in Glasgow and studied in other places as well. So although it all kind of went wrong, it was amazing to do it, and I felt. So looking back now, I feel very blessed. Well, it was kind of tragic, really, because I lost my voice. I was taught, it's like basically it's akin to, I always say it's very similar to an athlete or a footballer having an injury and they can't come back from it. It was exactly like that. The muscles that control my vocal cords basically packed in, and that was the total end of my career very, very quickly. But it taught me a lot, and it was one of the things I miss about singing is the teamwork that's involved. That you're on stage, you're all working together, you're talking in this language that you all understand, and it's amazing to have been able to have experienced that. I will never ever experience it like that again.
I'm sure you have great camaraderie though at the BBC with the presenters you work with.
Oh yes, yeah, I've got some great pals over the years. I've been there, 21 years this year. So yeah, it's. And of course, Jackie Bird's gone, and we used to have some laughs when we were on screen together or off screen.
And John Beattie as well.
John Beattie, yeah, those two. John and I are very good friends out of work as well, and we've had some good laughs on air where we have not been able to talk because we've laughed so hard at something one of us has said, and people have tweeted in or messaged in, what were you laughing at? Because they were laughing because we were laughing so hard. I'm sure you've been in that situation. You can't get the words out. It was just a sort of howl on air on radio. So yeah, I've had some laughs, and yeah, it's a nice bunch working there actually.
And they've got your back when things go wrong.
Yes, yeah, most people, yeah, yeah, they have.
Well, we've got some more messages coming in. Somebody from the other side, Judith, Gordon Cree from STV is watching, and Margot Murray in York, Pennsylvania. Hello, thank you very much for watching from York, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Sharon Gibb, slightly closer to home in Castlemilk, and Fiona Moody as well. So thank you all for watching. Judith, are you not tempted to get out and do a bit of opera on the balcony and serenade the West End? They've done it in Italy.
Well, I am tempted to do something crazy measy, but I might get into trouble again. But yeah, it's kind of in my personality to just do something a bit daft or a bit mad. But I've got to be a bit careful, because obviously it's not a great time for a lot of people, Mm-hmm. So I try and be cheery, though. Cheery.
Isobel, we've heard some wonderful stories coming through the media about kind behaviour and what people have done to help others, and you've tried your hardest, haven't you?
Oh, I tried so hard. Yes, I am in the habit of loaning money through a microfinance scheme. Through a Lend with Care, it's called. And so you can lend money to people in developing countries to start businesses. It's a great setup, really is. And I have these loans on the go all the time, several loans, and it's not an interest-making thing. You don't make money at it. It's completely altruistic. So they pay the money. The people pay the money back in dribs and drabs, 25p here and 50p there and all that. And then I just accumulate it and then reinvest it with someone else, and it just goes like that. And a couple of weeks ago, an email came in from the management saying that times might be getting tough, as they are for all of us, and that, you know, your loans payments might slow down and blah, blah, all that. So I wrote back and I said I could understand that perfectly well, and I was quite happy to write off all my loans to help these people. You know, I was thinking about these people, thinking, oh, how are we going to pay the loan? And this is awful, and we're not earning any money, blah, blah, blah. But they wrote back and said it was too complicated, and I was so disappointed and a wee bit upset about that. I mean, they explained why. They explained, and I kind of could understand it. But I thought, well, I can't even give my money away. Well, I've got a lot to give. Don't be asking me for a loan at the end of this. So anyway, it's all been sorted, because I got an email a couple of days ago saying that they've started up business solidarity fund or something it's called. So you can donate to that.
You can't give your money away now.
So, yeah, I can give my money away now. So that's all right. That's all sorted.
We've got May Miller watching. Those of you who live perhaps in the central belt of Scotland will have heard of May. She is a live wire. Yeah, you said that, Isobel, like you know May quite well.
Oh, I don't know her, but it's hilarious. Hilarious.
Have you ever been to one of her jacuzzi parties?
No. Steady on.
No, she has jacuzzi parties for charity.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you pay 30 quid and you get to have a jacuzzi with May. She gives you loads of fabulous food, and it all goes to charity.
Oh, I would have to wear a coat. Anyway.
May, we're all affronted that we've not had an invite, but the night is young.
I saw May in East Kilbride recently, and she's fabulous. You're fabulous, May.
Yeah, she was in a show with Kat Harvey and I think was it Michelle McManus and May, and there was a few of them, wasn't it? Tom Ury? No,
I just saw May in her own with Robert.
Oh, no.
Up at the Arts Centre. Great, it really was.
Absolutely brilliant. Are you getting driven potty by being kept in the house? Judith, how are you coping? Are you potty yet?
Do you know what? I'm so blooming busy. I mean, Rachel, completely appreciate this because you've got twins as well. But from the moment I get up, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, then there's the home educating work. The whole day is taken up with chores. I've got more chores to do, and I'm not the most natural of homemakers, so it's really, I find that quite hard work actually. The cooking another tea, getting them organised, make sure they still have their baths, and it's actually full on. And now, I've been trying to bake. Is
your eldest son affected by all the exams being cancelled and things like that?
Well, he has been very lucky because he's already got a university place. He did very well last year. So he was doing not 6-year studies, what they call advanced hires. Showing my age there, advanced hires. So he did well in the prelims. So he's worked hard, but thankfully he's okay. So we feel very grateful. That's not one worry we've got to consider. So he'll be leaving home this year, my baby.
I tell you what I'm finding difficult, the 3 meals instead of 1. Because when you pack them off to school in the morning, you're not having to think about the food. And then all of a sudden, it's just trying to remind them, especially when you've got 2 teenage boys, that they can't have dinner, supper, afternoon tea, because everything's a little bit rationed at the moment. And you go to open the fridge and everything's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going through a lot of food. I've spent about £400 in the last couple of weeks. It's trying to keep fresh fruit, just not quite £400. 300 if that were a wine.
Do you want a loan? I can give you a loan.
You've got to use it for something sensible, though. Isobel, how are you keeping yourself sane? Because you're the only person I know who, to get their steps up during the summer, you actually join in with Wimbledon in your lounge.
That's
to get
right.
Your steps up.
I do. When they play tennis, I run round the coffee table. When they sit down, I sit down. Yes, I'm off my head. Yeah, well, I mean, we're allowed out for a walk, so I'm still walking, and that's good. And I hope that doesn't stop. I hope we're not curtailed in that way.
Definitely.
But my life, everybody's life is getting stripped back, isn't it? Just to the sort of, maybe it makes people appreciate a wee bit more what they've got.
Yeah, I think so.
We're early days yet, aren't we? Maybe there'll be a lot of make, do and mend, won't there? And a lot of using up leftovers and all that.
We repaired our own lawnmower.
Wow.
I know, these times.
I'll send mine down tomorrow.
So what are you really missing? What would be the first thing that when this lockdown's lifted, you'll just think, right, I've got to go and do that?
Well, I'll have to go back to work, so I'm not missing that. I'm missing the money. But it feels really weird not to have work. So on the one hand, it's quite nice because life has slowed down. The hamster is off the wheel and you just get time. So, because everything in my house is a sole effort, being in my own. So I have to kind of cram things in and shoehorn tasks into my busy day, at breakneck speed. So now I'm able to do things at a leisurely pace. I like that. And not having to rush, back to my desk and, work dawn till dusk at this time of year. So that is really weird not having to do that. But then it's weird not going to the cash machine and there's no money.
Judith,
and to give me a loan.
Judith, are you managing to actually sort of take time to watch some TV, watch a few films?
So we've got 2 televisions and I can very rarely get a hold of one. And I treated myself to a new TV at Christmas because I wanted it obviously I don't watch much because I haven't got time, but I thought there are things I really want to watch, and so I bought a new TV, but the kids just take over, and it's just the way it is. But do you know what? In a funny way, Rachel, I'm enjoying having everybody around me, like my family with me, because it won't happen again, will it?
No, it's week 1, Judith, week 1.
I know, next week, come back to me in 3 weeks' time.
I know, before you get all Pollyanna on us. Catherine Friedman is saying, Judith, I hear you. Having to teach and cook, etc. I think you've struck a chord with a few people there who are all finding it quite tough. So what about your food? Have you come up with any creative meals that you suddenly thought, this is it, I've never tried that before?
No. I'm not a great cook. I did at all. I mean, I really struggle to get it all together. I haven't got the head for it. I mean, I really admire people who instinctively cook and throw things together, but I just can't do it. I did make scones with my daughter the other day. I thought, right, okay, but they were rotten. I think they tasted okay, but they weren't very good.
I think you're shattering a lot of men's illusions about you, Judith. You seem to be failing at all levels. Are you worried about food running out, either of you? Isobel,
No.
have you got enough food?
I've got enough food because remember, I've got the island mentality. So there's always another one in the cupboard. Now, listen, I wanted to say, if anybody was short of toilet roll, I've got plenty. Although I'm not sure you'd want it. Wait a minute.
Oh, I recognise that stuff. Isobel, for anybody who's not used this, describe how utterly awful this is.
Well, here, I had a wee bit that I prepared earlier. Can you hear that?
Oh, yes.
Who remembers that stuff?
Oh, yes. Junior school.
For the uninitiated, it's a bit like greaseproof paper, sharpened to a point. And it doesn't work.
No, and it's not absorbent.
No.
No, and you go, it's not absorbent, it just kind of runs off the thing and it's all over your hands and in your knickers and all that. So it's really just a waste of time.
We're having some nice messages in here. Martin Karen says people's priorities are really changing. We're becoming more community minded, which is a positive thing about all this. You both live in very sort of tight knit communities. Is that what you're finding, Judith?
Yes, definitely. We've got a WhatsApp group for the whole street, which everybody seems to be taking part in, offering support and offers of help and whatnot. Yeah, part of me wishes I could do something more, but I don't know what. Like something practical, because I feel frustrated that I actually can't, because everybody around here seems to be okay, but I don't know. I keep forecasting the weather, I suppose. Keep it good.
Personal trainer messaging in here, Sharon, saying, I hope you're tracking those 3 meals, though. That's the danger, isn't it? You're grazing a lot more, passing the fridge. Yeah, no, we're not tracking, Sharon. You can dream on. May Miller saying, oh my goodness, that toilet roll was slippy. Yeah, that's it in a nutshell, May. And Una Walker saying, maybe we'll all appreciate teachers a bit more. I think that would be something that you'd endorse, isn't it, Judith?
Oh, definitely. I think teachers are patient and they are so good at learning, listening to the kids. Whereas, I'm trying to do another couple of things on the side, as well as trying to give them a little lesson here and there. But yeah, teachers are special. And I mean, I still remember the teachers that inspired me. And I see that hugely in my eldest son as he heads towards the end of his school education. He has been inspired by teachers. And it's definitely part of the reason he's got to where he's got now, and with a place at university and a subject he wants to do. So yeah, teachers, I'm big for all the teachers out there.
Are you going to give up when it comes to the Easter holidays, though, and stop the homeschooling?
Yes. We can start on Thursday and on Tuesday.
A few more hellos to say. Hello to Gordon McDougall. Hi, Gordon. Nice that you're joining us. And Lynn Kennedy, Una, Angela Robertson is there, and Tracy as well. And somebody saying they remember, going back to your story about life on the island, life at school, saying they remembered the pulley in the kitchen to dry all the clothes on.
Yeah.
And yes, the head of news at STV as well, saying, are you finding it hard to stop working when you're working from home? Well, the devil makes work for idle hands. That's all I'm saying. Isobel, how are people at home on Tyree coping? I know your sister's there.
Yeah, just all the things that are affecting us are affecting them, of course, and all the 2-meter gaps at the local shop and all that kind of thing. And I think I'm not sure what's happening now, but I think there was one suspected case a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know what the update on that is, but yeah, just the same as here. And of course, you can't go now on a ferry up there unless you are an island person. Mm-hmm.
So really important to keep the tourists away.
Yeah. Because, there's no hospital. If you're going to take Hill up there, it involves an ambulance plane or a helicopter or something like that. But to get back to your point about are people being more kind, definitely, because I went out the other day to get my favourite loaf, which I haven't been able to get, and it's now not my favourite loaf because I couldn't get it. I took some other loaf, and that's now my favourite loaf. But anyway, I went and I walked away I started at Lidl, no loaf, and then I went further on to Aldi, no loaf, and I got this other loaf, and then all the way around in a circle. And by the time I don't know how far that was, maybe about 5.5 miles or something like that, all told. And when I was coming down, maybe about another mile to go before home, I saw the bus, and I thought, I could just jump on that bus, but there was no way I was going to catch it. So I start running. Stop, and the bus stopped. Now you can't imagine that happening in ordinary times, can you?
No.
He just sort of stopped. There was no bus stop or anything. He just stopped, and I got on, and I was the only person on the bus, thanking him profusely, and then thank you, and then realising, well, if I've got COVID, so is he, because I was kind of spitting all over him. I was that pleased that he'd stopped. Thanks very much. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for that government health message there, Isobel. It's time for us to wrap up now, ladies, but if you've got one positive word or phrase for anybody out there, or piece of advice, what is it, Judith?
It's not going to last forever.
Very wise. And Isobel?
And that's what I was going to say. So just sit on the couch, watch Netflix. If you haven't got Netflix, pluck the hairs out your chin or squeeze your man's spots or something like that. Pass the time. Stay home.
Ladies, thank you both very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Isobel and Judith, have a lovely few weeks in lockdown.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye. Bye. Bye.